My childhood sweetheart, Khloe Davis, had always been addicted to danger, especially the adrenaline high of street racing. In my last life, I couldn't stand watching the girl I grew up with ruin herself chasing thrills with that burnout Ryder. So I did something I thought would save her. I secretly tipped off the cops about their race spot. That night, with flashing lights in the rearview and panic in the air, Ryder's car slammed into a guardrail. He died on impact. Afterward, Khloe seemed to straighten out. She even married me. I let myself believe she'd outgrown that reckless chapter of her life. But I was wrong, very wrong. She hadn't moved on. She was plotting. For years. And today, her plan finally came to life. In the moments before I jumped from that skyscraper, her triumphant sneer cut through the wind. Ryder was the only person I ever truly loved. For the last 8 years, I pretended to love you. I married you just so you could feel what it's like to lose the one thing you care about most. I closed my eyes and opened them again inside a college lecture hall 8 years earlier. This time, I wasn't going to be her fool. This time, if she wanted her own fast and furious fantasy, she could have it. I was letting go of the wheel. 0-1. Her mocking laughter had been the last thing I heard before the fall. Now you finally know what it's like to lose everything you love. Her voice dripped with satisfaction. For 8 years, I had to look at your self-righteous face every single day, just waiting for this moment. Then darkness. And suddenly, sunlight. The familiar hum of students. The weight of a brand new textbook on my desk. My hand instinctively reached for the pocket where I used to carry the file Khloe forged to frame me for corporate fraud, the one that destroyed my reputation in 3 days. The reporters. The silent business partners. The stunned board. The empire I spent 8 years building, gone. Only at the end had I realized she was the architect. But now, I was back. A second chance. Let's see what kind of show you put on this time, Khloe. Khloe. Ryder said he's hitting the canyons tonight. You want to come? The girl in front whispered. My head snapped up. I knew this moment. This was the day Khloe went racing with Ryder for the first time. Shoot, keep it down, Khloe whispered back, shooting me a nervous glance. I pretended to read, but I saw the tension in her eyes. She remembered too. She didn't want me ruining her big night. Caleb, she suddenly said, turning toward me with that sugar-sweet voice. I'm going to the library to study with some classmates tonight. You don't have to wait up for me. Ah, misleading me already. Okay, I said calmly. She froze. The Caleb from my last life would have interrogated her. You're not going to ask where I'm going? No need, I said, packing my bag. It's your life. You can do what you want. Her disbelief was almost funny. Khloe, did you really think I'd fall into the same trap? That I'd waste breath trying to stop you? You always hated me for being controlling. Fine. Go chase your thrills. Let's see how grateful you are when you hit rock bottom. Later, she stood in front of me, eyes sparkling with excitement. Caleb, Ryder is an insane driver. We hit 110 on the straightaway last night. The feeling was incredible. Last time I would have panicked, begged, pleaded. This time, I just smiled. Is that right? Good for you. She blinked. Aren't you worried? It's dangerous. As long as you're happy, I said, returning to my book. It's your life, your choice. Before she could respond, an engine roared outside. A modified Honda Civic. Ryder leaning against the door, tattoos catching the sun. Ryder's here to pick me up, she announced loudly. He even customized his car because he knows I love the thrill. Hope you two have fun, I said, slinging my backpack over my shoulder. She stepped in front of me. You don't have anything else to say? What is there to say? I stepped around her. Downstairs, Ryder was yelling, Khloe, let's go. She ran down and wrapped her arms around him, glancing back at me, waiting for jealousy. I turned away and walked to the library. Pathetic. You think I'm still the guy who lost sleep over you? The guy who spent 8 years being repaid with deceit? And a long fall from a skyscraper? Caleb, she shouted again. We're racing on Mulholland Drive tonight. You should come watch. She clung to Ryder, eyes full of provocation. Have a blast, I said, waving. Drive safe. Her frustration simmered as I walked away. You hated my interference, Khloe. This time, I'm giving you exactly what you wanted. In the library, sunlight slanted across my desk. I was reading a case study when the girl across from me cleared her throat. She'd been sneaking glances for minutes. "Caleb, sorry. Could you help me with this problem?" she whispered. Maya Chun, a sophomore. Someone I'd never noticed in my past life because I was too busy chasing Khloe's shadow. "Sure," I said. She sat beside me, carefully opening her financial modeling textbook. 10 minutes later, after I explained the concept, her eyes were shining. "Wow, you're amazing at this," she breathed. I asked a couple upperclassmen, and I just got more confused. "The key is understanding the business logic," I said. Just then, a motorcycle roared outside. "Khloe and Ryder again. So obnoxious," Maya muttered. Last life, I'd have been outside trailing them. This time, I didn't even look up. That evening, walking back to my dorm, my phone rang. Mr. Wallace, my father's business partner. He invited me to join a startup project. Last life, I declined to babysit Khloe. This time, I accepted instantly. Then a text buzzed in. "Heard you're spending a lot of time in the library with that business school girl lately." I scoffed. "Testing me again? Waiting for explanations?" I deleted the message and walked into a boba shop. Maya was at the counter. "Caleb, you're getting boba too." "Yeah. Want to go over the model again?" She nodded, smiling, unaware of Khloe sitting across the street on Ryder's motorcycle, watching us. This life, I was living for myself. Khloe could play her games alone. At 2 a.m., after a long business meeting, my partners and I stepped out of a coffee shop. Engines roared as modified motorcycles tore past. Khloe clung to Ryder, hair whipping in the wind. In my last life, this was the night I called the cops. This time, I turned away. The bike circled back. "Caleb," she shouted. "Fancy seeing you here." I could smell the alcohol on her from 10 feet away. Another detail I'd missed last time. She wasn't just racing. She was drunk. "I'm heading out," I said. "You're not going to say anything?" she yelled. She wanted the lecture, the concern, the anger. "You're not behind the wheel, so it's not a DUI, I said calmly. "What is there to say? Have fun." Ryder revved. "Khloe, forget this loser." "You never used to be like this," she snapped. "Yeah," I shrugged. "I've changed." Weeks later, the campus gossip blog exploded. A platinum blonde girl was racing at insane speeds every night. Comments said she was drunk, helmetless. A dashcam video showed her weaving between lanes, playing chicken with a semi-truck. "Caleb, did you see this?" Maya whispered. "She's going to get seriously hurt." In my last life, she pulled a nearly identical stunt the day before I reported her. And this time, I said nothing. My phone buzzed. It was a location pin from Khloe. "Big race tonight. Coming to watch." Attached was a picture of her sitting on a new sport bike, staring into the camera with that familiar, defiant glare. I deleted the message and went back to discussing the project with Maya. Then suddenly, a deafening roar cut through the quiet of the quad. Khloe had ridden her motorcycle straight onto the plaza in front of the library. Students jumped aside in panic. "She's crazy," someone shouted while people scrambled out of her way. Maya flinched beside me, her body trembling. "What's she doing?" Khloe stopped the bike right in front of me, ripped her helmet off, and slurred, "What do you think?" "Nice new ride, huh?" Someone in the crowd yelled, "Psycho." I ignored everything, quietly packed my books, and tried to walk away. But Khloe blocked my path. "Caleb, are you avoiding me?" "Are you scared?" she sneered. "Scared I'm going to get myself killed? Then why don't you call the cops on me again?" I looked at her calmly. "Khloe, you're an adult. If you want to act like an idiot, that's your right. I'm not your keeper." "You." She shook with anger. "Is it because of that innocent little goody two-shoes?" "Let's go," I said to Maya and walked past Khloe. The engine revved loudly behind us. She screamed, "I'm going for the Mulholland record tonight. Are you really just going to let me?" I didn't look back. "You want to live on the edge, Khloe? Be my guest. I'm not your savior this time." Sure enough, the next day, the campus blog exploded. Platinum blonde girl shatters the Mulholland record. The video showed Khloe, helmetless, pushing her bike to 125 miles per hour on a tight curve. That's terrifying, Maya said, handing me a coffee. What's she trying to prove? I sipped my drink, saying nothing. I was the only one who knew. She wasn't trying to prove anything. She was waiting for someone to panic, chase after her, and try to stop her. Too bad for her. That person was already dead. This data model still needs work, I said, pointing at the spreadsheet. Maya, look at this cell. She leaned in, the faint scent of jasmine drifting from her hair. She was always like this, quiet, gentle, focused. Inspiring. Is it an issue with the ROI calculation? She asked, chewing on her pen. Before I could respond, voices erupted in the hallway. Khloe walked by the open door, arm in arm with Ryder, laughing loudly. She paused deliberately, raised her voice. You have no idea, Ryder. Some people act prim and proper, but behind closed doors, they're getting real cozy. Maya's cheeks flushed, and she quickly pulled away from me. Ignore her, I said calmly. Let's focus on the data. Khloe glared. Caleb, you got a new type now? Into these naive little girls. I closed my laptop. Let's go. We can work somewhere else. Scared, she taunted. By the way, Ryder's taking his new car out tonight. Top speed 150. You should come see it. I guided Maya out as Khloe's mocking laughter followed us. Hey little flower, she called after Maya. He has a savior complex. Pray he doesn't decide to fix you one day. Maya kept her head down. Caleb, maybe we shouldn't. Don't listen to her, I cut in. The project is almost done. Let's go to the coffee shop. The late-night coffee shop was nearly empty, just Maya and me finishing the project. Watching her work made me think of everything I had wasted in my last life. If I hadn't been so obsessed with saving Khloe. Caleb. Maya gasped. I followed her gaze out the window. Khloe was weaving her motorcycle through traffic, helmetless, hair flying wildly, the bike tilting dangerously. Is she drunk? Maya asked. I turned back to my laptop. Focus on your work. Let her go. It's her choice. Khloe screeched to a stop right outside the window. She tilted her head, smirking at us. Then she revved the engine and the bike jumped the curb, skidding across the sidewalk and stopping just 3 feet from our table. Maya yelped and hid behind me. What's the matter? Not worried I'm going to crash anymore. Khloe slurred. I ignored her, speaking to Maya about the project. You've changed. Her voice was suddenly small. The old you would never just sit there while I did this. People change, I said flatly. Just like you changed into someone who loves street racing. She flinched, then forced a sneer. Yeah, I love it. I'm reckless. I'm a mess. Aren't you the great savior? Why don't you come save me? Because you don't want to be saved, I said, meeting her eyes. This is the life you chose, right? Her lip trembled. Then she gunned the engine, the roar echoing through the night. You're going to regret this, she spat before speeding away. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed violently. It was one of Khloe's friends. Caleb, it's Khloe. She crashed during a race. Ryder ran off. He didn't want cops involved. She's in the ER at Cedars-Sinai. They're working on her now. In my last life, I panicked. I rushed to the scene, handled the police, saved her from consequences. What a joke I was. I hung up, rolled over, and closed my eyes. But I could almost hear her voice from last time. Thank you, Caleb. I'm so glad you were here. Now I understood. It had all been manipulation. The phone rang again. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Is this Caleb Mitchell? The patient listed you as her emergency contact. I smirked and ended the call. Emergency contact. She always planned ahead. A text popped up. Caleb, it hurts so much. Where are you? Delete. I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Please come see me. Delete. You're really not coming? You're just going to leave me here? Delete. I stared at the ceiling, remembering how I stayed by her side for 7 days straight in my last life. How fragile she seemed. How dependent she acted. How much of it was real. The phone rang again, Maya. Caleb, did you hear about Khloe? I heard, I said. Don't worry. Get some sleep. We have the presentation tomorrow. I hung up and set my phone to silent. If you want the thrill, you accept the crash. This is the life you wanted, Khloe. I try to sleep, but her whispers from the past and her cruel words from 8 years in the future tangled in my mind. This time, I learned the coldest revenge. Doing nothing. The hospital smelled of antiseptic. Maya looked at me worried. Caleb, maybe we should check on her. I heard she's badly hurt. 3 broken ribs, her leg too. No need, I said coolly, flipping through the proposal. She has plenty of friends. But Maya hesitated. I walked by her room earlier. She was alone. Ryder got a DUI. He's in lockup. And her other friends don't want to come because of the police. I closed the folder, a cold smile tugging at my lips. So the people who worshipped her when she was the queen of chaos vanished. This is the world you chose, Khloe. Then wheels squeaked down the hall. Khloe sat in a wheelchair, alone, her right leg wrapped in a massive cast, her face covered in fresh scrapes. When she saw me, she froze. Her eyes welled with tears. Bruises ringed her wrist from the needles. Last time, those marks shattered me. I stayed by her side for a week, watching her breathe, watching each drip of medicine. Caleb, Maya whispered. She's shaking. I turned away. Let's go. The project is more important. Her voice broke behind me. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'll never do it again. I promise. That voice had made me forgive her 1,000 times. Now it just sounded pitiful. Didn't you say the same thing last time? Then you went right back to racing and eventually got me killed. You don't need to apologize to me, I said. Your life. Your choices. This is the outcome you wanted. I took Maya's hand. We're leaving. And do me a favor, next time you crash and burn, don't list me as your emergency contact. There's nothing between us anymore. Later, Khloe lay in her hospital bed, the glow of her phone lighting her pale face. Ryder's latest Instagram story felt like a knife. A selfie at the Mulholland Lookout. His arm around a girl with heavy makeup, sitting on Khloe's bike, her hand on his waist. The caption, hit 125 tonight. My girl wasn't even scared. Now that's a partner. Posted 3 days ago, the day after Khloe was hospitalized. Her lips trembled as she called Ryder. He finally picked up, annoyed. Yeah. Ryder, why haven't you come see me? Not once, she whispered, voice cracking. See you for what? He yawned. Music thumped in the background. Must be boring lying in a hospital bed. You know I'm bored and you still won't visit, she said, fighting tears. And who is that girl? What's going on? Oh, Lexi, he said casually. She's more fun than you. Didn't even have to teach her the corners. So you just abandoned me? Khloe's voice wavered. The day after I get hospitalized. Whoa, stop right there. Ryder's tone turned cold. You're the one driving like an idiot. You're the one in a hospital bed. What right do you have to tell me anything? A girl giggled in the background. Ryder, come on. Everyone's waiting. Be right there, babe, he called out. Then back to Khloe. Look, I gotta go. We're in the middle of something. Wait, Ryder, you're really not coming to visit? Khloe, he scoffed. Get a grip. Look at you. You can barely walk. What am I supposed to do with you? Besides, you've got someone else to take care of you. Stop bothering me. He hung up. The dial tone echoed. Hands shaking, she checked Instagram again. A new post. Some people just can't let go of the past. Gotta keep looking forward. Lexi, let's break another record tonight. The picture on her phone was of the other girl, sitting on the custom Ducati she had begged Ryder to buy for her. Khloe stared at it for a single second before rage and heartbreak took over. She threw her phone across the room, the sound echoing off the walls as tears finally spilled from her eyes. Outside, the sky was bleeding into a deep orange, the kind of sunset that felt like a warning. Khloe lay there, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the one person who had always told her to stay away from this kind of life, the person she used to hate for being too overprotective. Funny, she thought. Some things you only appreciate when they're gone. Some lessons you only learn when it's too late. Our startup was taking off, really taking off. Maya and I were spending most nights at the coffee shop, working late after landing a major client. Her cheeks were flushed with excitement. The financial model is finally locked in, she said, almost breathless. We should celebrate. Tacos, I replied instantly. You know it, she laughed. Your favorite truck. We walked through the cool night air as Maya talked about the future. She said she'd never felt more alive, even with all the stress. As we approached the taco truck, a familiar figure stood there, watching us. Khloe. Out of the hospital now, but still limping. Her expression was complicated. Her eyes found mine and stayed there, searching. You've changed, she said. Then she frowned. No, that's not it. You're not him. You're not the Caleb I knew, are you? My jaw tightened. She continued softly, almost fearfully. Something felt wrong from the very first day you found out I was racing. The old you would have fought me, chased me, tried to save me, but this time, you didn't even care. She took one painful step closer. You remember, don't you? You came back too. I said nothing. A bitter smile twisted her lips. Of course. That's why you're so calm. You already know what's going to happen. You know exactly the kind of person I am. I exhaled slowly. If you'll excuse us, we're going to get some food. Wait. Her voice cracked. I know it was my fault. I never should have used you. I never should have done what I did. I get it now. You were the only one who ever actually cared about me. Maya looked between us, confused and uneasy. Khloe's tears started falling. I regret it, Caleb. I really do. I won't be that person in this life. Just give me another chance. Why? I finally asked. Because Ryder dumped you, and you need a backup plan? Or because you know I'm going to be successful this time, and you want to get in early? No, it's not like that. Khloe, I cut her off. For you, is this second chance just another shot at choosing a better target? She froze. You spent 8 years destroying me in our last life, I said quietly. Did you really think you could pretend none of that happened? She stared, stunned. But I've really changed, she whispered. You think changing means quitting street racing and acting nice? I scoffed. You haven't changed at all. You're still the same selfish person who thinks the world should revolve around her. You were like that then, and you're like that now. I gently took Maya's hand. You don't get many second chances in life. You got one. Try using it to live for yourself. But Goodbye, Khloe. I turned and walked away. Behind me, I heard her choking out sobs. Please, she cried, don't be as cruel to me as I was to you. The night wind carried her voice into the distance. Maya and I kept walking, our shadows long beneath the streetlights. For the first time, I understood. Some people don't deserve a second chance. Some wounds, not even a new life, can heal. Caleb. Maya asked softly, Are you okay? I forced a small smile. Don't worry. The past is the past. Ready for some tacos? Looking into Maya's bright, hopeful eyes, I knew I'd made the right choice. Some people you walk away from, and the ones who matter, you hold on to them. Behind us was chaos and noise. Ahead of us was something new. And this time, I knew what mattered. 5 years later, at our company's annual party, after giving my founder speech, I found Maya waiting for me backstage. She held a small, elegant box. Happy birthday, she said, standing on her toes to hand it to me. Go on, open it. Inside were 2 simple platinum wedding bands. I laughed softly and ruffled her hair. Are you trying to tell me something? You've been too busy with work to remember you're supposed to propose, she pouted, though her eyes sparkled. Her smile reminded me of something, a news story from 3 months ago. Mr. Wallace had come into my office, face serious, holding a folded newspaper. You know her, he said quietly. On the front page was Khloe's mugshot. Thin, hollow-eyed, handcuffed. She had been sentenced to 12 years for Ryder's murder. She had waited for him all day at a Hollywood nightclub. When he came out with his new girlfriend, he looked at her limp and sneered. What? You want me back? Looking like that? You think you're ever getting on a bike again? Why did you lie to me? Khloe had whispered. Lie to you? Ryder laughed cruelly. You followed me around like a puppy, remember? Now you're broken and crawling back. What are you, a masochist? The new girlfriend snickered. Look at her. She can barely walk. Why would Ryder want you? You made me lose the most important person in my life, Khloe murmured. What? Ryder shoved her. Get lost. I can't stand the sight of you. The police report said it was premeditated. She pulled a knife from her purse and stabbed him repeatedly. Even as they arrested her, she kept repeating the same words. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, he wouldn't have come back. He wouldn't hate me. He wouldn't have left me. Mr. Wallace sighed. Such a shame. I'd put the paper down and felt only emptiness. The girl who lived for the thrill, the woman who'd spent 8 years destroying me, had finally destroyed herself. What are you thinking about? Maya asked. Nothing, I said. Just old memories. She rested her head on my shoulder. I heard what happened to her. It's strange how life works, one choice and everything changes. I looked at the city lights. It's true, I murmured. That's why you have to cherish the people right in front of you. Well, she nudged the box in my hand, you still haven't given me an answer. I took one of the rings, got down on one knee, and looked up at her. I think this part is my job. Maya, will you marry me? Her eyes lit up as she nodded. Yes. Sunlight poured through the window, pushing away every shadow I ever carried. I'd finally found my happiness. As for Khloe, I hoped that somewhere in her prison cell, she finally understood. Some mistakes can never be undone. And once you lose certain people, they're gone forever. 12 years later, early autumn wind brushed against Khloe's face. In her hand, she held a worn photo clipped from a magazine. A man with a warm smile. A 4-year-old girl in his arms. His elegant wife beside him. It was the last picture she'd kept in prison. The heavy gates opened. A guard handed her a plastic bag. Your personal belongings. Her entire life fit into that one small bag. A few faded clothes, a yellowed notebook, and that single photo. 17 years had passed since her second chance. 12 of them behind bars. And in that same time, he had built a life beyond anything she ever imagined. She stood across the street from the glass tower that was now his empire, bigger than the one she destroyed in their past life. Through the lobby windows, she saw him walk out, holding his daughter's hand. Maya, graceful as ever, walked beside them. The little girl skipped, her pigtails bouncing as she giggled. Daddy. He lifted her easily, whispering something that made her laugh harder. From the shade of a sycamore tree, Khloe watched, tears blurring her vision. In this life, she could have been the one beside him. If she hadn't chased empty thrills. If she hadn't lived for revenge. If she hadn't ruined everything. But life has no if-onlys. He handed the girl to Maya, then turned. His eyes met hers. There was no surprise. No anger. Just a quiet, final acknowledgement. Then he got into the waiting car. As it pulled away, the little girl pressed her face to the window, curious. Her small, bright features looked exactly like his when he was young. Khloe wiped her tears and looked at the building one last time. Then she turned away, her shadow long in the late afternoon sun. She finally understood. Some futures are just possibilities you never get to live. They exist only as regret. Some mistakes take a lifetime to pay for, and still can never be undone. The scent of jasmine drifted through the air. Autumn had arrived. It was the first day of her freedom, and the moment she had to finally let go. She glanced back one last time and whispered, "Goodbye to the man I'll always miss." A gust of wind sent golden sycamore leaves swirling around her, covering the traces of her faltering steps. The reckless girl who once lived to race was gone. 17 years later, she had nothing left but remorse, and a regret that would never heal. And he, with another woman by his side, had built the best life imaginable.